We hear a lot about how people are looking for jobs, but some say manufacturers are saying that they are just frustrated with constant job openings and no one to fill those positions. CNBC's Phil LeBeau joins us right now with more on that story. And Phil, good morning.
Good morning, Becky. We're here at Affilion Technologies just outside Chicago. Start of the first shift here. This is where they make components like this that will go to the aerospace and electronics industries. They have 10 to 12 openings here, and this is a story that we're hearing throughout the manufacturing base in the United States. Take a look at how many manufacturing openings have been created over the last 3 years. It's gone from essentially 90,000 up to 247,000. Some of those openings, they seem like they're permanently opening. We went down to Metal Technologies, an auto parts supplier just south of Bloomington, Indiana. They have 5 to 7 jobs they are ready to fill, but they can't fill. In fact, they've had situations where they've had applicants come in, they've hired them, and then the people who have been hired have said, you know what, no thanks, I'd rather stay unemployed.
We've had people that we've interviewed, that we've agreed to hire, and at the end of the day, they've turned around and said, we're not going to take that job. We just found out that unemployment benefits have been extended, and they don't take the job.
That is a common story in the manufacturing industry. This is a big deal because 33% of the auto final assembly plants in the U.S. now run 3 shifts. You need to fill those second and third shifts. In fact, when you look at the auto parts suppliers, over half of them run 3 shifts. Guys, the bottom line is this. If the manufacturers cannot fill the second and third shift openings, they're going to go to lights out manufacturing. But there's a lot of demand that they're not able to meet. Here at Affilion, 10 to 12 openings they would fill immediately, but the owner here says they had zero applicants for the most recent job postings.
Phil, is that just because people don't have the qualifications for these jobs? I mean, it's astounding when you consider that we're at 7.9% unemployment, and that probably underreports the people who are really looking for jobs.
Some of it is because they don't have the skills that are needed to run complex machinery. But a bigger part of it is, Becky, they'll take people and they'll train them, but they find people will not come in and start at $12 or $13 an hour because they say it's not worth it. It's not worth it to start at $12 or $13 an hour. You will hear this from all the manufacturers. This is a very common problem in the United States.
Wow, I'm kind of stunned hearing that. This is a new phenomenon? This is a new problem?
It's always been a little bit of a problem, but it has really perked up over the last 3 years. I mean, the level of frustration, Becky, I cannot convey this enough. When I talked with Bill Black, the owner here, he essentially said he's thrown up his hands. He sometimes wonders if people just don't want to get up and go to work.
What do they attribute it to?
$13 an hour here. Well, and part of it is people don't want to start at $13 an hour. Ultimately, the people here, they're making about $29 an hour. It's a matter of whether or not you want to work in a manufacturing job, Becky.
What's
do
the
you want to do
alternative?
that? Is there that demand in the United States?
Dan Gilbert is our guest.
Yeah, I mean, what is the alternative? Does this mean that they may be on some kind of program or some kind of, that they're making more or close to $13 an hour?
Yeah, Phil, don't. What do you make by not working? Don't you have to make more than $30,000 to offset what you're getting in government assistance?
You would think that. When we talked with some of the manufacturers, they're telling us that they've offered people to come in, start as an apprentice, making $500 or $550 a week. That's not great money, but that's what they're starting at. A lot of people have said, you know what, I'll take $450 and stay on unemployment.
Exactly.
I know that's hard to believe, but that's what they hear back from people.
I don't think it's hard to believe. That's where the argument comes from. On the other side of all these well-intentioned things that we do, and if you're making $450 and you're watching, Katie Couric during the day, instead, who wants to be sitting there, slaving for 8 hours?
Sit there and watch Katie Couric, Joe. I mean, that's
Katie's just is a fine
during the day.
I don't know.
But I just wonder.
I was watching a show called Jail yesterday. Have you seen that? It's like Cops, only you're already in jail. It's a reality show.
I can't. Well, that's why you have the movie channel, so you can. But what I'm wondering about though, Phil, is sure some people are going to take that deal and they're going to stay home.
Right.
But ultimately, there's an upside to that, which is it helps people who can't find jobs anyway. So it's not. Yeah, there's a negative effect of it
Okay,
but
thank you. We know that. That's why we do it. You have to point out that there's a positive effect on employment. We know
because you act like it's all negative.
No, not. We know it's sold to us that that's what it does.
Well,
this is pointing out the other side.
The other side
is that we know the good side, but why do you think we do it in the first place?
The research that's been done estimates
spoon feed me the pablum of why we do it in the first place.
It's a half to a 1% effect on the unemployment
rate. They can't get anyone to work for $12 or $13 an hour. I was thinking they should go to 20, Phil, and if they, in the free market. Right. The problem is they're competing with the government. They shouldn't have to compete with the government.
But not forever.
And Joe, here's the other problem.
Here's
the other problem with these jobs being open.
It's limited.
What?
Say that?
You guys, the other problem with these jobs being open, they can't fill a second and third shift. They're losing business. Their customers will go overseas. They'll go somewhere else, someplace that will fill that demand. If you cannot fill your second and third shift, you lose your business. That's the bottom line. And we are moving towards second and third shift operations when it comes to manufacturing in the United States.
I also think that the person who may be on the unemployment, there may be also some cash businesses or ways they're earning money on the side that may even take them higher
than 5.
So therefore, it's a net, there's no net gain at all.
Phil, thank you.